Welcome back to Hoosier History, Legends, and Heroes. In this episode, we will go to a small town in Indiana in 1880. We have all grown up with electric lights, lighting up the night when we are outside of our homes. But our ancestors lived with moonlight lighting the night sky, oil and coal lighting, torches and gas lights lining the streets of cities before electric lights started lighting cities outdoors. Romans had vegetable oil lamps. In 1417, the mayor of London mandated that residents had to hang lanterns outside of their homes during the winter months. Needless to say, outdoor lighting has come a long, long way from the days of the Romans and the Londoners. But did you know that Indiana had a role to play in outdoor electric lighting? Most people think that Thomas Edison was the person who invented the light bulb. But Thomas Edison was not the first person that started experimenting with making the incandescent light bulb. Sir Humphrey Davy started experimenting with this in 1802. Thomas Edison started working with the light bulb in 1878. He experimented with different materials. Then Edison concentrated on carbon filaments. On October 22nd, 1879, Edison had his first successful try, and the light bulb lasted 13 hours. Charles F. Brush, who was born in Euclid, Ohio in 1849, was very instrumental in lighting cities by electricity. Charles F. Brush experimented with the arc light to make improvements to what already existed. His arc lamps were considered superior to any other arc lamps, and he invented and held the patent for dynamos. Dynamos were electric generators that he used for his arc lamps. Brush made the first successful arc light system in Cleveland, Ohio in 1879. Now that Charles Brush has had success with his arc light and his dynamo, now he needed a city to light up. On February 16, 1880, the City Council of Wabash, Indiana, held a meeting to discuss Charles Brush's arc lamp. Gas lighting was proving to be expensive, and the city of Wabash was looking for a way of lighting that would be more economical. The Brush electric arc lighting system would save Wabash $800 per year. It was noted that the arc lamps would give greater volume of illumination. On February 16th, the council agrees that the proposition be made on the part of the city to the Telegraph Supply Company of Cleveland, Ohio. The council agrees to purchase from the Telegraph Supply Company for the sum of $1,800 one Brush dynamo electric machine that was arranged for 4 lights on one circuit, 4 Brush electric lamps, 4 hangers, plus all other supplies that were needed. The order was given with the understanding what, when properly operated according to the instructions, will furnish 4 good, powerful lights and will work in a practical manner. It is guaranteed by said company that these 4 lights will light an area 1 mile in diameter, sufficiently to enable people to get around at the farthest point, and near to the courthouse that it will increase in brilliancy as the distance decreases. At the farthest point indicated, it is by said company guaranteed that the light will be as great as that of gas burners of usual street size at 100 feet distance, and will be equal to the light from a street lamp 100 feet away and any given point within said distance of 2,640 feet from the light. If the city is not satisfied with the performance of said light under the above guarantees and conditions, then said city is to pay said Telegraph Supply Company $100 to reimburse them for the labor and expense of erecting said light in said city. So, the Telegraph Supply Company and Charles Brush were putting a lot of money on the line that Wabash would be happy with the lighting. If it didn't work, or Wabash wasn't happy with the trial, the city would only be out $100. This article was published in the Muncie Evening Press on March 30th, 1880, and it says, on tomorrow evening, the Brush electric light by which the city of Wabash, Indiana, is to be illuminated from a single point, will be publicly tested in the presence of the city officers and a large number of invited guests. The electric light will be placed on the summit of the dome of the courthouse, 200 feet above the business portion of the city. Charles Brush's arc lamps would be tried at 8 p.m. on March 31st, 1880. The setup was that the 4 brush arc lamps would be positioned at the top of the courthouse. The small town of Wabash had a population of 320 residents, but more than 10,000 people came to watch the spectacle of the lighting of the city. This is an article published by the Muncie Evening Press on April 2nd, 1880, by their representative who was there to witness the lighting event. Following are excerpts of the article. Last night called a large crowd to this beautiful little city to witness an official test of the brush electric light. In the evening, the streets in the vicinity of the courthouse were crowded with spectators. The sky was overcast and the dark intense enough to test any kind of light. At 8 o'clock, the light was turned on and a hum of delight and admiration rose from the multitude. At points near the light, newspapers were read with ease. The contract called for light, enough for practical purposes, a half-mile in each direction, and the universal verdict pronounced it a success. Even at 3/4 of a mile, persons were enabled to note the time by their watches. The light is like an autumn moonlight, soft and pleasant. Shadows are dark and well defined, and the opponents of the electric use it freely in their discussions. A walk of a half-mile showed as much light and ease in finding the way as if there had been a gas post at each corner of the square. The generator in the Wabash light is calculated to produce light equivalent to 12,000 candle power. This being the first attempt to light a city with electric light, it called forth the city officials from all directions. The majority of the city council were satisfied with the test. Wabash will undoubtedly invest. So this test made in Wabash, Indiana, made Wabash, Indiana the first electrically lighted city in the world. These are articles from 3 different newspapers talking about the success of the trial. From the Abilene Weekly Chronicle, it says, the test was made before a city full of invited guests, and everybody present united in pronouncing the light a grand success. From the New Bloomfield, Pennsylvania Times, Wabash, Indiana, the last place in the world where it would be looked for, is entitled to claim the credit of being the first in the U.S. to introduce the electric light as a general illuminator. The municipal worthies are congratulating themselves accordingly for their enterprise. And lastly, from the Cleveland Herald, as the clock struck 8, 4 brush lamps of 3,000 candle power each put forth a noonday light for 1 mile circumference. At Urbana, 5 miles north, the light was said to be beautiful. The excitement throughout the day has been very great. This is one of the original arc lights from the lighting on March 31st, 1880. It is located in the courthouse in Wabash, Indiana. If you would like to visit the city and see one of the original brush arc lights, just go to the courthouse. This pennant welcomes you to the city of Wabash. This plaque stands in front of the courthouse. It says, First Electrically Lighted City. On March 31st, 1880, officials of Wabash began experimenting with Charles F. Brush's carbon arc lights. 4 3,000 candle power lamps were placed atop the courthouse and used to illuminate the town until September of 1888. This is displayed across the street from the courthouse. Thank you for watching Hoosier History, Legends, and Heroes. We hope you enjoyed another of our videos, this time learning that Wabash, Indiana is known as the first electrically lighted city in the world. This is a statue of Abraham Lincoln that sits on the courthouse grounds. If you do go visit the city, be sure to go by the courthouse and see the statue of Abraham Lincoln and go inside and see the arc lamp. Please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. Until next time.